Top Gun Maverick, the long-awaited sequel to this bad boy right here, is finally out, and let me just say, there was a lot of hype surrounding it. In its opening weekend, it had a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people were practically falling all over themselves to say how much they loved this movie. So going into it, I had high expectations, but I was a little skeptical. It sucks when a movie gets overhyped for you, because you go in with your expectations way up here, and if it doesn't meet them, you're disappointed. Whereas if you didn't know anything about the movie and you just went in and it was right here, you'd be like, yeah, the movie was fine. Granted, when I heard that there was a Top Gun sequel coming out, I was already excited, because Top Gun is one of those 80s movies that isn't necessarily a good movie if you look at it from technical levels, but it sure is a lot of fun, and I enjoy myself every time I see it, so I was hoping this would be the same. There are a couple of scenes from the original Top Gun that always live in the back of my mind. The volleyball scene to Playing with the Boys, and the intimate scene to You Take My Breath Away. It's goofy and campy and hilarious, and that's kind of what I was expecting out of this new movie. That and Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, doing all his own stunts and doing death-defying stuff. You know what to expect from him. So those were my expectations. And what I got when I went to see Top Gun Maverick exceeded my expectations. The script is actually well written. I think it's actually a better story than the first one. And I did notice in the credits that one of the credited writers was Christopher McQuarrie, who directed and wrote some of the more recent Mission Impossible movies, as well as The Usual Suspects. So when I saw that his name was attached, I went, okay, this movie's probably gonna be very well written. And it was for the most part, except for a couple of things that I'll get into in a second. The directing was outstanding, because the way they film these scenes in the jets, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. They go the extra mile to get incredible shots, and Tom Cruise does his Tom Cruise thing where you just go, man, what are you even doing with your life, man? In a good way. There's actually a good emotional line through this movie, too. I like Maverick's relationship with his love interest in this movie better than in the original. And there's emotional things amongst, Maverick and Goose's son, who we saw is played by Miles Teller. And the third act of this movie is very good. I thought we were getting to a point where the plot was getting really predictable, and I was like, it's a fine plot, but if I can see all of it coming, then what's it all about? But just when I thought I knew where they were going, the plot zigged this way, and then when I thought I knew where that was going, it zagged this way, and it kept me on my toes, and I never knew where we were going to end up, but it felt natural and exciting, and that's really all I can ask for. The few things that I had an issue with were things like doing flashbacks and actually showing scenes from the original movie when it's unnecessary. It's not needed during that scene. The audience knows what's going on already. It feels cheesy and corny, and a couple of times there's some really corny lines, which I would probably enjoy in and of itself, just because it's a Top Gun sequel and there were corny lines in that movie, but the rest of the movie is so good around it that it felt a little out of place, but they're not anything that would be detrimental to the movie whatsoever. You just go, oh, that was a little silly, and you move on. There was also a point in the movie where people had been saying that watching Tom Cruise do all his real stunts and fly the plane and seeing all the scenery in the background and stuff was really incredible. And we reached a point in the movie where I was like, I haven't seen anything that blew me away. Like, you can see stuff when they're flying, but it's like pretty normal. And it's like the movie heard me, because at that point it turned it up to 11, and the rest of the movie onward from there really was incredible to watch. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a movie really done like this in that sense, and I was just grinning from ear to ear at the end of the movie, and I was like, damn it, Tom Cruise, you got me again. In real life, you're a weirdo, and you would probably scare me if I met you, but damn it if you don't know how to make a really entertaining movie. All things considered, I had very few issues with this movie, and based on how happy I felt at the end of it and leaving the theater, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars out of 5. That may seem like a pretty high rating, but this movie gave me a lot of serotonin, and I will appreciate any amount of serotonin I get. On a closing note, I don't know when this wave of Tom Cruise doing his own stunts and making badass movies is going to end, but I'm going to ride it until it's over, because I'm really excited for the next Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is kind of a funny title because it's so long, but I'm all in on that franchise, and Tom Cruise, show me what you got, baby. And that's really all I have to say on the matter. Top Gun Maverick, it's a fun time, you'll probably enjoy it, I would recommend to go see it.
Jeez. Having any fun yet?
Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon.